Hey everybody, it's Jan here from drawingthestones.com, and today I want to do a book review of this book here, The Artist's Guide to Sketching. I recently bought this. This was written by James Gurney and Thomas Kinkade, and I found this book because I follow James Gurney on YouTube. He has a lovely YouTube channel where he paints mostly in gouache on a self-made easel, and he goes out into nature a lot where he lives in New York State, sometimes also places in the city or elsewhere, with a small kid painting or sketching on the spot. Really cool. And so he's written some other books more recently that I also bought that are also excellent. But this he wrote some time ago. This is, I think, from the 80s. And he mentioned it on his channel, I believe, from 1982. And I looked it up. It's long out of print and very tricky to get, or well, unless you want to spend vast sums of money on Amazon. This often goes for several £100s. I found this cheaper, but it had to come from Texas, so I had to wait a bit for this book to arrive. But so this was written by him and his friend Thomas Kinkade, who's a famous painter. If you probably have seen his paintings, he he's dead now, but he made these hyper kitschy paintings of cottages in the woods, and they are often on puzzles and I guess also in people's homes. But yeah, he died pretty young, and he was kind of an interesting character. A lot of people hate him with an intensity that is somewhat entertaining to read. And so I was, maybe I'd heard the name before, or I wasn't really aware of who he was, but then I found out that James Gurney and this guy were roommates in college, and they traveled the United States together as young men, sketching, and the result of those trips was this book. So this is all about sketching outside, quickly, with tips and tricks on how to capture things, draw from your imagination, and so on. There's a picture of the two of them in here painting something. Let me just, should have looked this up before. Oh yeah, here it is. With their portable setups. And so the whole book, I'm going to show some pictures from the book. The whole book is focused on that. It has sections on capturing motion, creating mood, achieving accuracy, some tips on materials, and there's some interesting ideas in here. One thing that I learned from this book, for example, was the technique of capturing people in motion, or a technique that helps with that, which is to almost use your eyelids like a camera shutter. So you look at somebody, let's say, doing a sport, and you close your eyes the moment they are in a pose that you want to capture. You close your eyes and you turn your head towards your drawing surface, and you open your eyes, and because the last thing that you saw was just one moment, it is easier to, it doesn't blend into the rest of the motion so much, and it's easier to then transfer that onto your drawing surface into your sketchbook. Practical stuff like that. It's full of things like that. Different materials as well: brush pens, gouache, pencil, pens are treated, different motifs, animals, plants, architecture, and a section also on drawing from imagination. One of James Gurney's more recent books is about that, drawing from imagination, drawing things that don't exist. drawing from imagination, not as in remembering something you saw and drawing it, but coming up with fantastical things, flying cars and stuff like that, or monsters, things like of that nature. The book is in black and white only, but I don't think that is a big problem. Most of these were probably monochromatic anyways. One thing that they do that I don't quite understand how this works, but often the drawings they'll say, for example, I'm looking at one here that says pencil and white gouache on brown paper. So I wonder how that works. I want to find out more about that. If they draw with a pencil and then have a brush loaded with white gouache and augment the drawing they made that way, or if they use both at the same time. But yeah, it's a treasure trove of new ideas and cool techniques. And if you can find this book at an affordable price, I absolutely recommend buying it, or perhaps you can find it at a library. Like I said, I got quite lucky with finding it online. So I guess there's a lot of techniques and tricks and stuff in this book, probably not much that you won't also find elsewhere, but the thing that makes this really stand apart is the story of the two of them traveling around the country on freight trains and sleeping under bridges and making $2 sketching people in a pub. And I like it primarily for that, because I really enjoy reading about that and this vibe of the traveling draftsman. So if you can find this book at an affordable price, I recommend taking a look. I like I said, I got very lucky, but maybe you can find it at a library. Yeah, I think that's it for my first book review. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.